Hello, everybody. So, I am going to be reading some sad fan fiction, and it is a ship. So, if you don't like ships or anything, just see ya then. But all credits go to the rightful owners. The person I am going to be reading it from is on that I have no idea how to say the words. The app is called Wattpad. It is Pan and Gav. Pan and Gav, and I am reading Confident. Trigger warning too. Sorry, just have to say that because I just read a few lines. Okay, so here we go. You queer faggot, I hope you kill yourself. Everyone hates you. Useless piece of trash. Dan remembered all of the insults thrown at him through his school years. He stared into the bathroom mirror, his fists clenched. Phil was gone for the week, and he had become increasingly depressed as the week went on. Oh, they had never had a romantic relationship, and even though Dan knew that Phil was straight, he desperately wanted one. He couldn't bear living with someone who didn't love him back. He did love Phil, and more than what? Platonically? Platonically? All of a sudden, the front door opened and closed. Dan ran out of the bathroom to see his best friend holding the hands of a giggling girl. What the? Hey, Dan, this is Allie, Phil grinned. I met her in Germany. She decided to visit for a couple of weeks. Dan stopped dead in his tracks. Hi, Allie. He smiled and tried to look sincere. Hello, Dan, she replied, nodding, her German accent thick. He tried to smile at Phil, but he couldn't. His words were stuck in his throat. He went back to his room, cursing himself. Of course, this was gonna happen eventually. The worst part was that Alan seemed fine. Perfect for Phil. Oh, that's so sad. Dan was never going to get to be good enough. He was too emotional. He could hear them laughing in the other room and decided to go for a walk. Dan grabbed his coat and ran out in the cold, his breath fogging in front of him. He began to quickly walk down the street, ignoring the fact that it was about 11 o'clock at night. No. I'm so sorry, I just read the next line. I'm sorry. I don't want to read this part. There was a group of men following him, holding pipes and bats. Fuck, Dan muttered. I am going to guess this is gonna have a lot of swearing. Because come on, it's Dan and Phil. Dan's the one who swears a lot, but... Sorry, I meant to mention this. Sorry. Fuck. Dan muttered and took one look at them before breaking into a run. They pursed P-U-R-S-U-E-D. Pursued? I am sorry, I have no idea how to say that word. Him as he yelled that had. They pursed him as he yelled that he had no money. An uneven pavement square tripped him, and he sprawled out on the sidewalk. They caught up, and he screamed for help, but one hit with the pipe shut him up. They beat him until he fell unconscious, and he thought no more. Phil walked down the street, searching for Dan. He stopped dead as he saw his... Sorry. He stopped dead as he saw his best friend bleeding on the sidewalk. He groaned slightly. Phil bent down. Dan, what happened? He said as he dialed 999. Got mugged, he whispered as an ambulance rushed to the spot. He was lifted onto a stretcher and he muttered, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I love you, Phil." What? Dan asked. What? Phil asked that, but they were already closing the door to the truck. Wait, he caught the... I'm so sorry. Wait, he caught a taxi and followed the ambulance to the hospital. When they got there, they had already taken Dan into the intestine hell. Dan into intensive care, and he wasn't allowed to see him. About an hour later, a nurse told him the worst news that he heard since one of his friends died years ago. Mr. Howe wants to see you. I'm so sorry, he only has a couple of minutes. Oh, she told him gravely, and his heart felt crushed. Okay, he nodded and walked back to Dan's room with her. Phil? Dan looked surprised. Actually, that's not a question. I just said it like that. I'm sorry. Phil. Dan looked surprised. Hey. He smiled and sat down next to his friend. I love you too, Phil said before he could stop himself, and he realized that he did love Dan. He really loved Dan. How could he be so stupid? He had always loved Dan. Really? Dan whispered, his eyes closing slightly. So much, Phil said, and he kissed him lightly. Wow, Dan's eyes were completely closed by now. Phil could hear the heart rate monitor slowing down. Don't go, please, Phil choked. Instead, Dan's head fell to one side. I'm sorry, Dan muttered, took a long breath, and fell silent. Still. The heart monitor let out a long beep and the line hit the ground. Phil screamed. He didn't just yell no. He screamed and hugged Dan's lifeless body, wanting him to come back. Please, he whispered as two nurses ran into the room. Oh, damn. Does it end? Oh. Damn it. No, that's way too sad. Oh, shit. That's way too sad for my heart. Oh. Oh. Damn. Okay. Yeah, so that was me reading Confident by Pan and Gav. Check out the artist. Support the artist. Support the writer. Shiba. Okay, see you later. Goodbye.